Are you a broke realtor looking to make some money, but you have no idea what to do? Well, this episode, we're going to talk about all of the things you can do for free to get your business moving.
Episode 36 starts now.
You're listening to Mega Real Estate Talk with Jared Davis and Galen Parker, your source for an honest, insightful look into Central Virginia's real estate market. Combined, Jared and Galen have over 20 years sales experience, as well as hundreds of testimonials from clients past and present who rely on them for advice and assistance when buying and selling homes in today's incredibly hot and competitive real estate market. And now, your hosts, Jared Davis and Galen Parker.
I am Jared Davis.
And I am still Galen Parker.
We are coming off of a night of cocktails for closers, our very favorite networking event that we do for realtors.
We're strutting outside of the winner's circle from last night. It was a great event. Thank you, all you realtors who came out. It was awesome, wonderful support. Getting to meet other agents, other brokerages, just outside of the deal. I love it.
Yeah, so not only did we have a late happy hour, we went to dinner at Napa after. Got home late, and then what did we do this morning?
We woke up early.
Of course we did. See,
what time did your alarm go off?
It didn't. You hear that, guys? It didn't. I just got up. Are we good, Mike? Mike is already just playing. We already know what our deep dive is, I guess. We'll edit that out. Anyways, yeah, I didn't need an alarm this morning. I woke up at 6:45, which some of you may laugh at, but I don't have kids. And what I've realized is all the morning people typically have children because they have to wake up before their children wake up. So I have a normal life and schedule. I
posted it on Facebook, like a question like, hey, what time do you guys wake up? And like all these people, and then we were looking like Mike Boone and all these guys are like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And then like Jared's like, you guys have kids? They're like, oh yeah, for sure. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I told you this morning, I was like, my alarm is set for 6:45. My body's like, oh, cool, 6:45. Say less. Waking up at 4:45, 5 a.m. I'm just like, what are you doing? We've got systems in place. My body's like, I'm the only system you need.
So here's the thing. Normally, I would just go back to bed when my body wakes up, and I'd get up around like 8 because, you know, we work late as realtors. You know, we didn't get done till what, 10 o'clock last night. So I don't really want to get up at 6 to start work again. But I have realized that I am just not productive enough from 8 a.m.
And that's
to 10
us saying
p.m.
that.
Well, it's like there's not enough time in the day, so I'm just cutting out sleep. I'm going to morning routine.
Steve on our team will be happy to hear that. He's a big proponent. He's like, you don't really need that much sleep.
No, he sleeps on like 5 hours. I texted him
I've been doing that for 10 years, me.
Yeah, he's like, well, you got kids.
No, I did it before that.
You've always had kids, man.
You've had a kid for at least the last 6 years, right?
6 years.
Well, there you go.
But I still work till about last night was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You've had kids longer than that.
Yeah. So yeah, I just people, you know, they start bugging you right around like 8:30 in the morning anyways, and then you got appointments starting, and then it's just a spiral. So that
I'm calling leads at 8 in the morning. It works. I mean, it depends on the lead source, but like the after hours, I've yet to have anyone be like, "What are you calling me for?" Like I called the lady this morning. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I filled that form out after hours. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much." And walked her through. I sent her a link to our podcast because she's trying to get into flipping, and she's like, oh, it's really interesting getting permits through Richmond. I'm like, have you ever done this before? She's like, this will be our first one. I was just like, oh man, okay. Well, if you need some help, let us know.
Yeah.
So. What's the story on your contractor?
That is a good little one. Succinctly, he's run into, let's say, some slight legal issues. We're not saying anyone's at fault, but it's kind of delayed some of the things that he's supposed to do that, as Jared is about to mention as he turns purple, that he was paid for already. And so he's currently a guest at the Richmond City Police jail.
Sounds like
for the foreseeable future, it seems.
Yeah, so this is why you don't pay contractors up front, no matter how much they need, want, desire, whatever. You just can't, you know? You just have to be like, you start working, and I'll pay you as you go. Now, I didn't pay him everything. We had somebody a while back that I gave them all of our contractors. They called none of them. Then they called this other guy. She gave them $35,000.
I forgot about that.
And then the guy went to jail. And the work was like not remotely done. Like it was just like, oh, you need 35 grand up front. Okay, here you go.
And some of the remember he do some of the work and it was just bad.
Oh yeah. And then they like take.
I'm gonna put this wall here.
No, they took walls down and then we had to put them back. It's like, no, we should probably put that wall back. Nice. That one's probably pretty important in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, yeah. So we're waking up early. We're getting more done.
Wake me up.
I figure I've got about 18 hours of efficiency now per day.
Man, we're about to kill the game right now.
if I can just figure out how to work while I sleep, it'll be good. You know, I do like the morning routine is like 10 minutes of gratefulness, 10 minutes of like education, maybe 10 minutes of exercise if I can get some push-ups and stuff in. You know, add a little bit of book stuff going on. All of these things that, you know, if you wake up late, you don't get to do them.
Yeah.
I just lost my thought.
Prior to that, I was like just springboarding out of the bed, screaming, just like, all right, what's happening right now? Now, like, I'm like,
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I should just start doing education while I sleep. Just like put the earphones in and then get through a book while I'm like. You'd probably retain something, right?
Really quick, I was just thinking about. I had the exact same thought this morning. I've got like sunglasses that got like Bluetooth speakers on them, and I was thinking, I was like, what if I just like laid and just like somewhere as I like nap and like heard like, this is what you need to do to build your business and be a better boss.
Or Rosetta Stone, you just wake up speaking Spanish one day.
Like, oh man, that's wonderful. All right, what are we talking about today?
Oh yeah, Mike, you want to cue us up for the deep dive?
We ready?
We're ready. Let's do this.
Born ready, baby.
Aggressive. Long one. It's a long one, Mike. I thought these were getting shorter, Jalen.
I feel like it's just so fitting because the lyrics were, come on, why are we waiting? And I'm sitting there thinking like, amen, brother. I'm wondering the same thing.
You know, the last one that we did was so good. The one with the...
That was episode
techno?
24 was the techno beat one.
Man, I was...
More of that.
Yeah.
Go to that vein. I mean, people were like, what is that jam? I'm like, I don't know. Mike won't tell us whatever phantom artist is out there.
Where is our coffee?
I think it's coming.
Oh, sweet.
Right,
You think?
Very nice.
Okay.
I think I can.
All right. I'm going to need some coffee to think. But today's deep dive topic is how to market yourself for free as a realtor.
On the frizzle.
This is so crucial, right? Because most realtors are broke right now.
When you start in this business, you're probably not just flush with like an absurd amount of cash to get things done. And I've never met a realtor that you're like, oh, I got to pay for lockboxes, MLS fees. Oh, happy to do so.
Signs and MLS
List
fees.
some things. What else do we got?
Well, you got, just if you're brand new, obviously you got all the licensing stuff.
Oh my goodness.
But then you've got quarterly MLS fees typically, normally a yearly NAR dues to be a National Association of Realtor member, I guess, for whatever that's worth. I don't know. You got your lockbox fees that are either monthly or yearly or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
You've got your signage. You've got your business cards. You've got graphic design, right, on all of these things that you got to get done.
There are so many things that you have to spend money on before you ever sell a house.
And don't forget, gas is $28 a gallon right now. So unless you're on a horse or
we're about to
in
get
a
motorcycles.
Tesla,
I mean,
I have a motorcycle.
I'm about to get one just so I can like go to listing appointments.
$7 to charge up my car at the Tesla station the other day.
Mike, if we weren't on camera, I would assault you like Will Smith and Chris Rock.
I want the Porsche Taycan. I want that one.
That's beautiful. So there's a lot of things coffee delivery that you've got to spend money on. So today we're talking about all the free stuff that you not only should you do, you better be doing. There's a huge connection between these free things will be the difference in your business, whether you're like an old agent or a new agent. We're gonna take a quick pause.
I feel like you're not going to be able to hear everything I'm saying because I'm shaking my coffee and I don't want to mess up the audio. So just bear with us, listeners, while I get this going. We're on a
pause.
They say it's a shaken espresso, yet all the espresso's at the bottom and it's not shaking. So I'm like, what did you do when you made this? Look, it's like a science. It's like a science project. It's just not. This is denser, right?
I'm like, can I just force you down?
We're just gonna drink it.
Ugh. Do you have a straw anywhere? We're already on a break.
Is this the one?
Actually stir mine.
Is this the one in the Target, Mike? Do you know? The one that's in the Target? No? Or you don't know? I was gonna say that those people don't. They're like a non-licensed dealer of Starbucks.
They're like, there you go.
They just do. Oh, can we say that on camera? Sorry, YouTube. Can I say
all
Starbucks?
All of this is being edited out, so it's.
There we go. I did it that time. Look.
No, oh, you did do it. Okay. I feel like I did mine. I like got coffee like at the top.
It's like all the brown sugar and coffee's at the bottom, so I'm just drinking oat milk is all that's happening. Okay, Galen, are we good?
Just dealing with people. Let's do this. All right.
So we meant to do like one of those like things where it's like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Like the edited, like,
all right, we're now back.
Please stand by. All right, so we talked about the things that you have to pay for.
All the things that you have to dole out: your cold hard cash, your savings, your kids' college fund,
and
your
this
IRA.
isn't just for new realtors, because you could be an experienced realtor but also be feeling the heat of this market and say, man, I'm not closing as much as I had been, and now my budgets are shrinking, my income is shrinking. What can I do to actually get some new clients? So Galen, what's number one?
So the number one thing, this is near and dear to Big Daddy Galen's heart: open houses. These can be so amazing to change your entire life because it's multifaceted, right? So you're going to do the open house. Shouldn't really cost you. Maybe you mind a couple bucks on like if you do like promotional stuff where you can just print them in your office or something like that. But it gives you an opportunity to meet two different important groups of people. Potential buyers that do not have a realtor.
Yep.
And then you can meet the neighbors.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to talk just a couple seconds on the neighbors because I love that. Because oftentimes when people come to your house, they say like, "Oh, I'm not going to buy. I'm just a neighbor." And I've learned that is a great thing because neighbors will sell houses better than anyone else. Like if you have an open house and the neighbors are all terrible, well, how do you think that's going to go?
Yeah.
Well, you got nice neighbors that come over. I've started printing out, this little tip for you guys. I started printing out a neighborhood CMA because neighbors are equally nosy. So I say like, hey, listen, I've got you a little CMA. This basically tells you the list price and the sale price of all of the homes in the past, 60 days, 90 days, a year. This is all public information. So, but I've got it all for them, and they love that. Neighbors love it. Oh, that's how much the Johnsons spent. Oh, ours is better than that. And I'm like, oh, is it? And they're like, yeah, well, we did our cabinets, and I'm just in there listening, like, oh my goodness,
Johnsons suck.
Like the Johnsons are the worst. Never liked them Johnsons. But so I'm like, oh wow, that's what I was like. Do you have new cabinets? They're like, oh, we don't have new cabinets, but we got new granite. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Make sure that on that, I've always put my contact information. I take a sticky note. I stick it on that. I write, call me if you need any help selling. I write out my phone number again so it feels personal. And then I put them in little packets and I give them to them. I love that. I've gotten calls from that. Or people are just like, hey, I'm not leaving this up, but I'm just wondering, is this right? Or such and such? Or do you have an idea? And I'm like, yeah. All you want to do is start the dialogue. So that's great. So if I have an open house and only neighbors come, I'm as happy as can be.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And what about door knocking to the neighbors? Not door knocking. We'll get to that separately, but door knocking to the neighbors themselves.
Yeah. I will often do that probably on like a Friday or a Thursday or Friday. And I come with my heart in my hand. I have a card. I'm like, hey, listen, Mr. Davis, I don't know if you noticed this, but we're having an open house at 123 Main Street. There's going to be a little bit of traffic. I'm going to give you my card. If there's anything goes wrong, maybe someone parks on like in front of your house or blocks your mailbox, feel free to give me a call and I'll happy to take care of it. Also, this house is going on the market. I don't know if you considered it. And like people are like, oh yeah, sure thing. Because they're always like, oh yeah, someone's going to park in my house and they'll take your card. And so if they do call, then that's great because you can kind of talk to them like, oh, I'm so sorry. They get to kind of experience the next level fanatical follow-up level of service that I'm going to provide them. It's like, hey, no problem, Mr. Davis. Let me get that taken care of. What color is it? Yeah, let me get on that right now. Let me pause this. And people are very appreciative and they're thinking, man, this guy is killing it. And I haven't even seen my former realtor in a million years. And so all of these ways, are starting conversations. That's why I like to do the door knock.
Yeah, and sometimes what you can do is even open the open house early for just the neighbors, right? Because you don't necessarily want the neighbors to detract from the people that are trying to buy the house either if you're trying to talk to potential buyers to pick up. So one thing you could do is if the open house is from 2 to 4, you can go door knocking. You can tell the neighbors, hey, we're going to host a private open from 1 to 2 before the public for anybody that's a neighbor that wants to come by. So now that way, anybody that's in the neighborhood that wants to come through, they can take your time. You can spend your time talking to them. You can give them these comp reports if you want. And then hopefully by the time you're done, now you know not only the people you're selling the house for, but hopefully 7, 8, 9, 10 neighbors. And then when they sell that house for $50,000 over ask, right? Because that's what's going to happen.
Follow back up with them.
You can follow back up, or hopefully that seller knows knows the neighbors, and then when they tell them, they're like, oh, well, I already know this person, and we were thinking about selling, right?
Yeah, it's awesome if sometimes and neighbors are always funny. They always say like, "Oh, we live right over there." They always tell you which house is there. Hey, oh, sorry, we live over there.
Thank you.
So sometimes when I go back and I'm getting a sign, maybe I'll pop in and just say like, "Hey guys, just wanted to let you know, hey, it was awesome meeting you guys, 30 days ago. We're about to close out. I'm about to grab the sign. I don't know if you heard. They probably told you already. They sold for $40,000 over the list price, and their mind's just like, what?" That house?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, here's my card again in case you lost it. And then
All right, what happens if you don't have a listing? So do your own
probably
open house
won't have a listing.
Yeah. So what do you do if you're listing lists and you don't and you're not on a team?
Very good. I mean, so we've talked about this. This is one of the reasons why you should be on a team.
Sure.
But if you're still looking, are you talking about if you're still looking for an open house?
Yeah, like you're like, man,
Okay,
I
great.
love their advice, but I don't have any listings for open
Great,
houses.
very
I don't
good.
have a team. So what do I do?
Depending on your broker, you probably have a brokerage that has like plenty of things going on. What we've told our agents to say, hey, go into the MLS, search out our broker code, follow up with all the people who have listed houses and reach out to them. You can do the same thing. Reach out to, hey, I see Jared Davis has got 3 new listings. I wonder if he's doing an open house. Start a conversation. Hey, would you be interested? Maybe they don't want you to do it this time, but now they know that there's someone out there that's hungry. We've had someone on our team that benefited because she reached out to someone else and they're like, man, this person's really hungry. I'm going to just come to them first when I have a listing. So be that person, that research that's providing them with a level of service and help.
Yeah, so essentially, we've got a handful of people that once you meet some agents and you realize, hey, these agents don't want to run their own open houses and they're not going to do it, they just figure, hey, I'm just going to let this person run all my opens and I'll give them a call, I can shoot them a text, helps the client. So if you can get into some relationships like that, that's helped people in our team. They've got people that are giving them all their open houses and they're even giving them some referrals now just for overflow because maybe they're a solo agent, they can't handle certain things. So they're like, well, this person's been great at opens, we'll give them some deals. And it works out well. So
it's amazing how relationships come into play with everything.
I mean, that's what we're going to get into for this, too. That's free most of the time. All right. Second thing, social media. Something that's very underutilized. I mean, people will look at it all day, every day. But good Lord, to get them to post on it.
They won't contribute to it.
I know. They just want to see what everybody else is doing. So Galen,
All right.
what are you doing on social media these
All
days?
of it.
Well,
All I wrote out, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got TikTok, you've got Snapchat, you got, did I say LinkedIn? You got LinkedIn. I use all of them differently, but similarly.
But what are you posting? Give people some
first and
ideas,
foremost, so
some
like-
free ideas. Because how many people do we have on our team that say, like, I just don't know what to post?
All of them. So one of the things I routinely post is if I'm going to a showing, you're going to know about it. Mm-hmm. That's the one that buyers right now, buyers agents, you're doing showings. Whether you're going to do a lot of them because you got to see a lot of properties. So I'm doing showings. Everyone knows where I'm going, the showing, why I'm going, who I'm meeting. I take pictures of that. Those are all good posts that remind people, oh, wow, Galen's a realtor. No one should ever ask what I do for a living.
Oh, yeah.
If you follow me on Facebook, you're like, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm just going to like run away screaming.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
public
just like,
service announcement for all of you people that friend request me all the time and you don't have any about information on your social media and I don't know who you are. I'm probably not accepting right away.
Yeah.
And I've got like thousands of friends on social media, so I accept pretty loosely. But when you,
I'm an open door.
but when you have nothing on
Which is
there, I'm like,
amazing to me.
what are you trying to sell me? Is most of the time
That
what I
is
think.
very
I'm
true.
like, you're probably trying to sell me something. But sometimes these realtors, like, I'll even do a deal with somebody and be like, oh, I'll go send them a friend request. And then you find them and you see that there's
Like, what?
nothing there that
You're
they're
like,
a
what do you
realtor.
do?
And you're like, I know it's you. I've seen your face and your little email signature. I know this is the right person, but like, why aren't you telling people?
yeah.
Well, I think the other thing for social media, it goes down to age gap too. There's a certain age where it's just not going to be in their forefront of minds. I mean, they got people like YouTubers that are 23 years old that are just crushing it because that's all they know from the get-go.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. So on our team, we've got someone who's in her mid 60s. She's on TikTok. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Then we've got people in like their mid to late 20s, and they're just like, oh, I don't do that. Do I need to have a Facebook page? And it's just like, man, you have got to cover the distance between your competitors because they're learning just as you learn. You need to get out ahead of them. So with Facebook and Instagram, Facebook is more of like a personality thing. So I might like put a post or take the temperature of like the people around me, like, hey, what time you guys wake up? What do you guys do? And stuff like that. Instagram is more picture heavy. So that's where I put information on like our flips.
It's actually more video heavy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's more media and video heavy. So then we'll do like walkthroughs of the flips. I'll do maybe a walkthrough of a tour. If I've got an open house, well, then I'm doing a video of like, hey guys, welcome to this open house. That plays so well on Instagram. And I look at the numbers of how many story views on Facebook versus Instagram. Instagram always crushes it.
Yeah.
And so I use that a lot. What else? And then obviously with this podcast and the video, I post like the teasers there. I post like, get a little preview of like what we're doing. Like this morning I did like a quick like Instagram, like, hey guys, this is what we're going to talk about on Instagram. Keep an eye out for that episode. It's going to be 10 episodes, after the one most recent we listed. LinkedIn, I use that kind of based on your audience. I think, LinkedIn's for people who are probably at work, so they can't really be popping open like zany, funny videos of me. So a lot of that would be more data that I use on LinkedIn, and I'll do like a little bit of the podcast, but I'll talk about, home trends, house sales, what does it look like? I got links in there, like if you want to get a home valuation for your property, that's great for LinkedIn because it's a data heavy kind of source. TikTok I use for more humorous, thought out things that I do. I've got like a little thing on TikTok I call Realtor React. And it's like, I see like people like, oh, I do flips and I made $100,000 on all of my flips. And I'm like, that's not real. So I'll have like a little reaction thing. And there's the one we did about like Jared and I working out. A lot of people love that one. I did that one. That was a fun one. I have to give more thought to TikTok because in honesty, when you look at good TikTok content, it's like very well thought out. Like they're not just like waking up and like, I'm like, how did you even do some of these things? So you have to put a little more thought. Then Snapchat is just kind of like quick, like, hey guys, we're out here. That's like, just quick pics just for people to get up. Quick pics, I said, don't get it twisted, about real estate stuff. So I use all of those big ones differently. And that doesn't even talk about what we do on YouTube.
Yeah, you just went into a lot of stuff that we should probably just do a whole podcast on that because that was much longer than I'd anticipated on every single platform.
Social media.
I mean, goodness gracious.
If you're not using social media right now, you're in trouble.
I mean, Galen's about to do a whole, public service, public speaking event on social media. So this guy gets it. Me, I feel like we create so much video content with the podcast, with our living in Richmond videos, with our where to live, with our food fights. We've pretty much got something coming out every day on social media because of that. And then our listings. So we put our listings out. So I'm not as good at putting out maybe my showings or putting out maybe some of the filler stuff, but I've got people behind the scenes doing quality content and putting it out. But for us, we get people literally tell us every day, like, man, we cannot wake up without seeing you guys on social media, or strangers, or people coming into open houses, or people reaching out to us on YouTube, or whatever it may be. So we love that. But again, it's only going to get bigger, right? As the young generation that's been born with these things,
they're going to expect you to
gets
be on.
Older, right? Like it's just the norm. So you better get behind it and realize this is so much more effective than things like print advertising or flyers. It's not to say there's anything wrong with those things, because they do work and realtors still do them, but we're talking about free things to do. And print and mailing and flyering and all of these things,
they're expensive.
They cost so much money. And you think about it, to get in front of 500 people in the mail can cost you thousands of dollars with postage and printing and design. You can get in front of 500 people on social media for like $3, or for free if you just have 500 friends and you're just putting it out to your personal sphere. So just keep in mind, what are you doing? Are you doing showing posts? Are you doing just listed posts? Are you sharing your team's successes? Are you sharing your numbers at the end of the year, your stats?
That's a great point. Are you sharing your team's success? Because we've got a couple of agents on our team that they're just reposting stuff that you and I are doing and drawing attention to it. and then they're highlighting it, and they're having good success on that.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, and that costs them nothing but time. And like they're taking the pictures from the listings and adding them to like I think TikTok with like music, so they're generating like videos and just like short run through of this little house. If you're interested in taking a tour, contact me today. I'm like, that is very smart, but that's the future. That's what everyone's going to be doing.
Well, the other thing about kind of it goes with anything. If you're unsure and not able to do it solely alone, then buddy up with somebody.
Yeah,
accountability where you guys are kind of throwing off each other's ideas and stuff like that, and that's in everything. In photography, it's the same thing. People go on shoots to learn things and being buddies with each other and growing together. And so I don't know, it just should be 101, just thinking of trying to make it simple, but being teamed up with somebody, doing social media together.
Here's the main point. My crappy free video that I put on any social media platform
Preach.
is better than your non-existent video on all of said platforms.
I mean, that should be inscribed in stone somewhere.
That should be our teaser clip, Mike, right? If you're listening to this, our crappy video beats your non-existent video every day.
It's going to crush it all day long in views because you got nothing. I've got a lot of agents on our team that say like, I don't know what to say.
I don't like myself on camera. I don't like
anything.
this. Doesn't matter, right? Like, and the thing is, you'll get better at social, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'll get better on camera. You'll get better at content. You'll get better at all of these things. But put something out, because if you put nothing out, then nothing's going to happen. So just keep putting free content out on social media. I don't do everything like Galen does. I don't have a Snapchat account. I don't have a TikTok account. And that's probably my fault. It's probably terrible. But whatever you are on, get on it and be consistent about it all the time. All right, next thing.
Next one is kind of a little bit of what Mike was just talking about. It's about networking and making connections. That is free. You reaching out to other people, whether they're in real estate or not. I think it is beneficial you to reach out to people who are not in real estate, just different industries. Get out and talk to them. Host something. That shouldn't cost you anything. If you just post and say like, hey guys, I'm going to XYZ diner this Friday. Would love to have you guys come out, get a couple people out there and just talk, get a couple of drinks, eat some food, and just that's how you're going to start building your network, especially if it's in the beginning.
So here's the thing that I think about networking. So many agents don't do it at all. They suck at it. And it blows my mind. Because when I look at my schedule on a weekly basis, I think, oh my gosh, how do we have so many events set up all the time? Like, sometimes it's overwhelming. Like, you think, we had cocktails for closers last night, right? That is strictly a Realtor event. It's not specific to EXP. It's whatever Realtors want to come out, and I host it. It's very easy to do. It doesn't cost you any money. It gets a bunch of Realtors in the room, lets you mastermind, network, all of that good stuff, and they love it. And now the agents know you. So as you're writing offers, they're like, that's the awesome cocktails for closers guy. Mm-hmm. Or, man, that's the guy that hosts that awesome event. We're so glad he does it. I'd love to work with him, right? So that works great. Then we do team outings, right? We're going to River City Roll. It's a local bowling alley, kind of upscale bowling alley, right, in Richmond next weekend. So we got that going on. We do our annual or even biannual client appreciation party, right? So now it's all of your past clients. We're going to rent a restaurant. We're going to rent this. We're going to get this together. We're talking about free things now. So client appreciation, that's not very free. But then you start thinking about like BNI or what is it, 210 or 212 or some of these other networking groups where you're like, can you get into a business networking group where you get up once a week and you sit down with other business owners and you work it out, right? Whatever you're doing, you just need to be meeting people in this business. I find that most people that aren't selling just aren't meeting enough people. They're not talking to enough people, whether it's the people they currently know, their past clients, people they should be meeting. We need at least 35 conversations about real estate a week to make it in this business, and that was when the market was easier. The market's so difficult right now. So you probably need to have about 50 conversations a week with people.
I even for us, even for myself, I'll say, we do a lot of networking, right? We go out and stuff, but even I'm like, what more can I do? I was like, thinking there was like a coffee house in like Broad Street. I'm like, I like to go there in the morning and just like be a regular there just to kind of show my face there. I'm like, there's
Finish your sentence,
but there's so many.
Don't move on because we talk too fast.
Yeah, so there's just like so many opportunities where like I want to be a presence in that just to kind of like expand my network because I want to continue to grow it. I'm doing really well in my own personal sphere, but it's like we got to keep growing that and stuff. And so you can always have room for improvement. So.
You mentioned coffee shops. So when we were in Vegas at EXPCon, someone gave the recommendation of a sticker, and you can buy it. There's a website that you can buy it. If you reach out to us, we'll give you the link so that you can buy it and put it on your own computer. But it says, I'm a real estate agent. Feel free to ask me anything about the business, pretty much. And it goes right on your laptop or wherever the heck you want to put it. And so 2 people on our team were at that class. They both got the sticker. They both put it on their laptop. One literally texted me while I was in here and just said, just met a guy whose son-in-law is moving to Richmond and may want to buy a commercial building to start his medical practice. He took my card. I love this sticker. Right?
That's amazing.
It was free. He was just sitting in a Starbucks instead of working in an office. And you just figure, you go when it's busy in the morning, you go when it's busy in the evening. Anybody that comes in, hey, I'm in blank, ask me about whatever you want. And he's already gotten 2 people that have actually stopped and asked him about it.
I love it. And you know, it's funny, I have not gotten that sticker because there's just something in me that it's really hard for me to do.
I don't like stickers on my MacBook.
I don't like stickers on my MacBook. I don't like wearing brand, but it works. I'm thinking to myself, like, do I get like a hard cardboard, like, folding
if you were
thing?
hardcore, you'd do a tattoo.
On it, right up right on my
your
forehead. But these things work, and like that's just like my own thing. But I've been thinking about like a trifold sign that I like. That's hard. That I could just like put down in front of me. Like, I'm a realtor on duty. Ask me any questions. But these things work. It's just starting a conversation. That is what you need to do. That is the key to these networking. The next thing I had after networking. Are you think we've covered networking pretty well?
I do. Yep.
I just wrote volunteering. Volunteering is a great one. Shout out to Kay Springfield, who's on our team. She volunteers at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
And she has like all these like events, and like her big thing is like putting an order to all this stuff she did. And that's I'm doing some coaching with her because like she was the other week, she was like, oh, well, I'm volunteering to go to like the local elementary school, and I bought all the teachers some supplies. I'm like, I didn't see that you do that. She's like, oh, is that something I should put on social media? And I'm like, Yes, absolutely. 100% you should do that. I'm like, that'll show it's a goodwill towards the teachers, to the kids, the community. But volunteering is such a big one because there's very few groups that are like, oh yeah, we have too many volunteers. We don't need any more help. Everyone needs help right now. And so if you can do it, it's not like you're going to be there saying like, hey, I'm a realtor or something like that. But as people get to know you, maybe you've got an EXP Realty hat on or something like that. So
Yeah. I just joined. It's not volunteering, but it's all in groups. I just joined a networking group. Finally, it's taken me 9 years to find one that I thought I would actually want to join and be a part of. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to start doing it, right? And we're successful in sales already, right? We're already doing plenty in business. Yet every day, like you said earlier, we're still looking for new ways to start more conversations, to talk to more people.
You are the man.
Another thing, right? If we're done with that, I think you have to make sure you're constantly contacting everyone in your sphere. Now, social media touches on this a little bit, but it's specific because social media just is a kind of a shotgun blast to your sphere and people, right? But I think you need to make it more personal. So if you're already in the business, you need to think about all of your past clients, right? Everybody gets mad when their past clients go and buy another house without them, or they see the house pop up and sell and they weren't the realtor, and they get mad. Why? Because they're like, why didn't this person call me, right? It's not your past client's job to remember you. It's your job to make them remember you, right? So whatever that entails, right? Do you have the same hobbies? Do you just talk about fantasy football, or for me, Formula One, fantasy F1? Mm-hmm. Is it poker? Is it motorcycles? Is it cars? Is it whatever that's personal that you can keep them in your lives about? Are you doing pop buys ever? Now, again, that may have a little cost associated if you're dropping them something, but you could drop them something so cheap just to be able to at least get them by. We'll drop pies once a year, you know?
That's one of my things. I've got like, I always joke, is like, I've got a stupid Girl Scout cookie budget. And the reason for that is because, you know, I've gotten business from that, but then I take all the Girl Scout cookies that I bought, go to the Dollar Tree, I get like one of those like a bag of bows, put that on that, take the package to like a pop by. I'm like, hey, just think about you. I was in the area, drop this off to you. And they're like, oh, wow, thanks. You know, I didn't know it was Girl Scout cookies. I'm like, yeah, it was before. I just bought a bunch. And so these are like easy ways to, like, you know, kind of transcend what you've been doing.
Yeah. And so keep in mind, I mean, think about even something as simple as this. Go through every single person in your contact list and text them And you can literally mass text this. Don't do a group chat, obviously. That'd be dumb. But, some realtors are dumb. So I can't assume that you're a smart realtor
Do
listening
not
to this.
Group text.
So please make these separate text messages for each person. But think about, what do we all want as agents right now? We want listings. We need inventory. So text every single person on your list and say, oh my goodness, this market is absolutely bananas. Banana emoji, banana emoji, banana emoji, whatever, right? Do you know anybody that's looking to sell right this second? Because we have so many buyers that are losing out. We need the inventory. Are you looking to sell? Do you have any friends looking to sell? Is there anyone that you know I could reach out to that would be interested in making an insane amount of money on their house right this second? But whatever the number is that we could probably sell it for, just add 40 or 50 grand. That's probably what we can get them. Anybody. You don't think if you went through a contact list, I mean, I've got probably 3,000 contacts in my phone. You can't tell me if you just sent it to 2, 3, 4, 500 people, you're not going to get one text back that says, we have been thinking about it. Or, no, I'm not, but I know such and such is thinking about it. It also gives you a reason to text your past clients who are already supposed to be referring you business, right? And it's absolutely free. Yet people won't do it. You could sit in bed in the morning and do it.
You can wake up early. Maybe that's what you do when you wake up early in the morning. You just go through that, break it down. Maybe you don't do it all in. You say, hey, I'm going to do this for 7 contacts every day this week. That's 35 people. And then next week, do another 35. The next week, do another 35. Go through the list, and I guarantee you will find some success.
This isn't rocket science, but it is putting stuff.
It's rocket fuel.
Yeah.
But it's not rocket science.
It's just putting stuff into play. And even for past clients and Sphere, I'm sure you're going out to dinner. I'm sure you're going out to happy hour. I'm sure you're doing things. Invite somebody. Don't go alone. You know what I mean? There's so many times when I go somewhere, I mean, sometimes with you, sometimes whatever, and I think, who can we invite that's on our client list?
We just had this conversation.
Who do we invite? And there's people that regularly will text me because I'm used to inviting them to happy hours. I'm used to doing things, and they're friends now, right? So you just get people that are like, hey, do you want to do happy hour? And you're like, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
We were just talking about that before, the food fight. I was like, who can we invite
to film our videos?
That would just be in the food fights with them. And I was like, I think that's a good past client. Just get them hey, do you want to come out to dinner real quick? We're just going to do it. And people would be like, yeah, sure. It's just availability was kind of tough for this last one, but invite.
I agree. All right, last thing. This has been a longer podcast than normal, I think. Oh, no, it's not too bad. Door knocking. We'll hit it really quick. It's one of those things that most people do not want to do. And really, as the market was kind of crazy over the last couple years, some agents probably, just didn't need to.
Yeah.
The market's been pretty good. But as things are shrinking, people are saying, man, I really need to find sellers. How can I do that? Door knocking, it doesn't have to be a hard pitch. We know that no one loves door-to-door salespeople. People don't want to be bugged. But at the end of the day, a lot of agents say, I live in this neighborhood. I'd like to own this neighborhood. Or I want to farm this area. Or I want to farm this price point, right? This gives you the ability to pick whatever farm you want to be in, right? Even bonus points, obviously, if you have a house for sale there. Or if you just sold a house there. Or if you live there, right? It can be very easy and non-intrusive to at least just introduce yourself. Say, hey, I live in the neighborhood. I'm a street over. I've never met you before. Heck, make cookies. Do something like that if you're actually in the neighborhood. I mean, you could do pop-bys to strangers, right? And just say, I just want to let you know I'm a real estate agent in the neighborhood. If you know anybody that's looking to move in here, we've got houses that we're selling all the time, so feel free to give them my card, and I'll let them give them the inside scoop, right?
Yeah.
Or if you end up wanting to sell at some point, please let me know. The market's crazy. We really need inventory. I've got a lot of friends and clients that are trying to be in the neighborhood. They want to move here, so I'd be happy to even do a free CMA report to show you what we can get for your house, right? Again, it's a numbers game. So if you knock on 100 doors, can you get one person that says, yeah, I do have a friend that's looking to buy in this neighborhood? Yeah, we are thinking about selling and moving. Oh, we are relocating, right?
I always think of what's our average price point in Richmond right now?
320.
Let's say easy math, 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you had to knock on 50 doors at the end of that, I'd say, hey, man, I'll give you $9,000. Would you do it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. People were like, yeah. And I'm like, all right,
but they don't.
Then go do it, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
but
I'm
you
like, cool,
don't.
cool.
Look at me. Look me in the camera eyes, viewers.
Look at him. Don't you look away. Look at him.
Or listen.
Will you do it?
You listen with your ears and eyes.
Keep your eyes on the road.
That's right. You're not doing it. I know, because I'm looking at the statistics, and I have 24 agents on our team, and I have 60 agents that we've brought into EXP, and I'm looking, and the mass majority of people will not do this. They'll listen to it and say, that's a great idea. And they're like, of course I would do it for $9,000. But the fact that I can't give you a 100% guarantee that you give that $9,000 keeps you from doing it. But the thing is, you have to do it, because it's the
At
only
this point,
way.
I'm almost like, if you knock on 100 doors, it's almost 100% guarantee that you're going to get something.
Somebody.
You're going to get money.
Yeah, somebody's going to be like, wow, it's been a long time since someone knocked on my door, pre-COVID probably. And you know what I mean?
For sure.
You just have to do it.
Very
we just
nice.
outlined 5, 6, 7 free things that you can do to build your business. 35 to 50 real estate conversations a week. If you don't do any of these things and you're not making money, then don't feel sorry for yourself, right? Like, if you do these things and you're working 40 hours a week at it, and every day you wake up and say, what is my highest and best use today? And you say to yourself, prospecting, whether it's free, whether it's going to cost me money, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to get my conversations, then you're going to be successful. That's all there is to it. But you have to do it. So hopefully this gave you some good ideas. We appreciate anybody to like and subscribe. If you're listening on any of the podcast networks, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow, comment. Please comment. We love getting comments from people, whether they're positive or negative. We don't care. Give us whatever you want. Our living in Richmond video the other day, somebody commented like
negatives in there.
20 times about every single
No
negative.
food, no culture, no
Hate this
life.
place. Mosquitoes. Yeah, like everything. I was like, okay. But great. We love it. Keep commenting. Whatever
Richmond has
you got.
cornered the market on mosquitoes.
Like, comment, subscribe. You're on this channel. This is Mega Agent Academy. If you're watching on YouTube, we also have
New logo.
new logos out. We also have a Living in Richmond, Virginia channel. You can check that one out too. If you want to reach out to me, __ the Davis Group on Instagram, or Jared at centralvarealty.com. Galen?
You can find me at your realtor's favorite realtor, RVA, on Instagram, or Galen at centralvarealty.com.
This has been another episode of Mega Real Estate Talk, episode 36. Thank you for watching.
If you have a real estate question that you would like to ask Jared or Galen, reach out to them at Jared at centralvarealty.com or Galen at centralvarealty.com. Who knows, it may even be featured on an upcoming episode.